Holy ants! Holy ants! Wow, we got the... Ow! Ah! Oh, they're fire ants! Son of a... Hey. This is soaked. Does that oil? This thing probably can't breathe. Weird. Well, hello. Sure, but it has what's called a... Look at that dauber nest. This thing stinks. Is that nut sweating? It is sweating. The stinking valve is leaking fuel. Sun's directly in my eye sockets, and go. We got a runner. Oh yeah, we're charging. Greetings, folks. Man, it's bright out here. Welcome back to the TractorFella channel, where we know nothing about tractors. On today's episode, we're going to continue with part 2 of this beautiful little grass mutilator. When we left off on the last episode, we had fixed the fuel tank because it had a leak coming out of the bottom. We had successfully run it, driven it, PTO works. So I think what we're going to do first is we're going to check out the hydrocarbon distribution center, because if you recall, when it's running, it's pop, 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 pop. So I think we have some fuel drippage going on there instead of a nice atomization. Thank you. Why don't you fetch that up? That's a good one. No. Fetch it up. Out you go. Get. Good boy. We'll take a look at the headlights, considering I flooded that one lens. So hopefully that works. We'll take a measurement of the charging system, figure out why there's such a bad vibration in the belt. I had a list, but I can't remember it now. Anyway, let's dive in. It'd be nice if I had a bunch of tubes lying around. I could tube all these tires, but that's probably not going to happen. Oh, there's a dent in the front I'm not happy about. So we're going to... Is this new? I had this thing spick and span. Is it really spitting out that much stuff, or did I just miss these spots? We're going to go with the fact that I just missed those spots. Let's go ahead and start with this beautiful atomizer. What the heck is that? Okay, there's something in there. And there's something else in there. And something else in there. Fill to indicator. Same thing, fill to indicator. Well, we will have to figure out what those are. I saw them sticking down in between this hood and its front cover. That's a dirty piece of stick, probably from our dog. That's super helpful, buddy. Fill to indicator. Fill to indicator. This is an interesting start to the episode. Huh. Okay, well, I think that's all the fill to indicators that we have buried down in the hood. Okay, this, you need to take this. Okay, fetch it up, please. Fetch. Come on. Fetch it up, please. Come on, fetch it up. No. What are you doing? You're not filling to indicator? Come on now. I don't think he was going after that nasty piece of wood. Anyway, if anyone knows what these are, fill to indicator. And then I found 2 of these. I wonder if these went over top of the headlamps. That's a interesting discovery. We're not oil soaked this time. Yep, we're dry. And I think that's an 8 mil, as the cool kids say. Oh, do you think I was whistling for you? Hmm? Yeah, you think I was whistling for you? Oh, I didn't mean to set that down. Oh, I set it down in the little heat riser. Alright, there we go. bringing in the hose deformer, even though our fuel is currently shut off. Alright, hose is successfully deformed. Get our clip out of here that's not actually doing anything. Now, the fun part will be removing our plastic fuel line. And yes, you heard me correctly, I said plastic fuel line, because that's pretty much what this has turned into. Wow, it's actually coming off. Let's get some fat beets in here. Oh wow, it worked. It really did work. I guess we're off to a good start here. I have a feeling I just jinxed it. Linkage time. I do know that our choke linkage does not work automatically like it's supposed to, so we're going to have to look into that. Throttle's nice and free, as you can see. I'm thinking, which I know we've verified is very dangerous, I'm thinking we're going to pop these bolts off first, remove the hydrocarbon distribution center, and then take our linkages off. Funny part that I'm just noticing is that this shield has to come off so I can get to the bottom bolt. So that's fun. Okay, cross your fingers that these come out nicely. No, 13 millimeter it is. I apologize for constantly using metric. Where I work, everything is metric. And that was nice. Very nice. It's quite the quite the long bolts there. Oh, they flow through, the exhaust flows through them too. Nice and carbonated. For kicks, you know what? Let's just pull the whole muffler off. Uh-oh, is that a head bolt? No, it's not. Because if that is a head bolt, I would have to make sure to torque it properly, or I would get slaughtered by the YouTube community. And gasket, muffler. How exciting is that? Oh, look, you can get a thread-in muffler if you wanted to. Universal design for multiple applications. Efficiency at its finest. I am not going to be able to get a socket on there. Not at all. Why do they even make it a hex? That's all right, though. That is all right. Oh, nice and snug. Not overly snug. We have a lot of oil down here. I'm starting to question if it's leaking from somewhere other than the dipstick. Okay, hot breath, we hear you. Now our PCV line on the back is just going to slip right off. Oh no, we have another support bracket here. How nice is that? Interestingly enough, everything has been metric. Oh, it is not gone. We'll just do a little twist and a pluck. And we're out. Stay there, little spring. Thank you. And we'll do, oh, I have fuel collecting in the bottom of the carburetor here. We'll do the same with this. Yep, just goes right there. Okay, yep, there's fuel coming out the bowl. Okay, off to the bench. What do you say first we get the extra fuel out of here with some fat beets? I don't know why we have fat beets. My wife likes beets, so I guess we bought some. Oh, good, good. That it went exactly where I wanted it to. It really did work, right? I guess we're off to a good start here. All right, well, big fuel savings on that one. And step one, support removal. Put you right back where you came from. Oh, which one of you is dropping bombs over there? Holy moly. Oh, dang. Let's take care of the bowl first. And we have, okay, good. We have more fuel spillage. That's what we have. And we have 1/2. Pretty much just 1/2. That barely went in any further than that, okay? Something to note. I think that's a bit on the lean side, but I could be very much mistaken. Because believe it or not, I am wrong sometimes. I know it's a very hard thing to understand, but look at that. Metric again. Back to the 13 millimeter. Pretty clean, I'd say. Healthy. Gasket is still there. That's a good thing. Yep. Most important tool in the garage. Let's make a safe place for our parts here. Needle and seat. Are we ready? We are ready. Jet time. That is a floppy fit. Let's see if it'll work. Holy moly. Will this fit? It will. Very nice. Okay, round 2. Okay, got her. That is our emulsifier, if I'm not mistaken. And we have a little tube down in there still. Hopefully, it just falls out. Or do I need to unthread it from the top? Looks like. Bless you! Alright, there we go. I don't know if I've messed with a carburetor like this before. Obviously, I have many things I have not messed with. But this will be, oh yeah, yep, there's the tube. So the question is, do we have any holes that are a little plugged up, preventing us from getting nice atomization, giving us our popping misfire? At least that's how I understood it. In my engines class, I know, it doesn't really pertain to small engines, but what they said was if you have a running engine, but you get a kind of a misfire, there's a chance you need to rebuild the carburetor because you're getting raw droplets of fuel into the intake, and that can cause a misfire. So maybe that's our cause of the spit and the pop and the... Oh, you guys need to stop with the smell. Jeez, oh Pete's. Don't look at me like that. I'm not the one dropping it over here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to blow through this thing. It's definitely not plugged. Let's see, where's the blue? There's the blue. And there's the blue. Oh man, these are all clean. There's the blue. There's the blue. And those are our only holes. Those are our only holes. Okay, well, my theory is quickly falling apart. 1/2. 1. Hold on, we're going back out. I want to make sure I don't hear any rattling like there's little check balls in this carburetor. What the heck is that? What is flopping around in here? See right down there? See now how the hole is closed off? What the heck is that? Interesting. Might have to get a scope and check it out. You guys know how familiar I am with small engine stuff. Why I have a small engine show, I don't really know. Weird. Can't just pop that out. That'll never get back in there. Oh well. I've lost most of your attention by now. Another issue. Throttle shaft is very floppy. Maybe it's just floppy on the shaft. We could check this set screw down. I think there's a set screw down there. Yeah, right there. We could check that set screw. See if we're just loose on the shaft there. Because this side, yeah, it's not too bad. Should probably leave this dirt here. It's probably helping seal out that air leak. I suppose that could be another issue with our snap, crackle, pop. Is a lean condition? Would that cause a misfire, a popping? 1/2. 1. 1.5. About 1.5. This is that knurled screw I was talking about below the air filter housing. That kind of sits down below. I'm guessing this is our idle. Looks pretty healthy. Guess that looks pretty healthy too. I can't really tell if it's... I think that's clear. It looks open to me anyway. Well, let's do a little cleaning of all of our components here and maybe spray this out a bit and we'll go from there. Welcome back, folks. It's a new and beautiful day. You guys like my shirt, by the way? My brother-in-law gave that to me. It cracks me up. Okay, so we disassembled everything yesterday. Let's just give it a good squirt everywhere that we can think of. I mean, everything looks pretty dang nice, in all honesty. Where did the... Is it still there? No, it's still there. I thought the little jet disappeared down in here. Yeah, that's working. It's coming out the inside somewhere. I don't know what that is. Let's spray it. I don't think that goes anywhere. No, it doesn't. I think we've taken out pretty much everything we can. Why is there a choke symbol on this side? Must be for a different application. Once again, universal design for multiple applications. I'm pretty sure we know that this is clear, but let's just fire some stuff through it because we can. Oh, yeah, look at that atomization. It's a fuel injector. I mean, kind of is. I mean, this is definitely clear. I don't really know why I'm even going to do this, but maybe so we can watch more fuel get injected. Did I get you in the face? Hopefully not. Yep. Yep, we're clear there too. Uh-oh, we need to keep this out of the way. I always get yelled at when I remove the coating on the needle there. Yeah, a little bit of buildup there. Maybe, who knows, maybe this will help. That's actually, does that have a burr on it? Almost looks like it was dropped. See that right there? It's like a burr. Like somebody dropped it and there's a little burr sticking out of the side of it. Maybe that little teeny defect could cause a problem. Most likely not, but I'm going to very gently treat that. We'll use some 400 grit. Give it a twist and a roll. See if we can get rid of that burr on the end without changing too much of the geometry overall. Alright, I think we're all better. Didn't do a whole lot, just a little teeny bit of scrapage there, and that took care of our issue. That's actually in the idle circuit, isn't it? That's not even our main jet. Oh well, who knows, maybe it'll do something. Probably not, but that's okay. It was fun to try. Okay, reassembly time. And go. Okie dokie. It's dump truck day today. So I reassembled this. Did you see the fact that I missed the whole freaking jet? Didn't even put it in there before I put the bowl on. That was slick. I set the idle and high-speed mixture both to 1 turn out. Something I also did, which probably didn't need to be done, the float was a little south of level. South. The float was a little bit below level in the shutoff position, so I have a hard time believing we were starving it of fuel, but you know, maybe that was something with our popping and sputtering. So I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble this. Also, I cleaned up under the hood, so that notification. Also, I cleaned up under here because it caught me off guard because I power washed this whole thing. I thought that I got everything. There's a very good possibility that I didn't. So I went ahead, wiped all this down so that we can monitor it just in case this is for some reason spraying garbage all over the place. But I'm gonna go ahead and hyperlapse the reinstallation of the muffler and the carburetor, and then I'd like to fire this beast up and see if it runs any better. Off we go. Well, I was going to hyperlapse through there, but check out this garbage. The little collar fell out of the eyelet over here. That's really, really not helpful. Well, I guess I'm going to pull the spring off and see if I can get the collar back in there. And then try to find a way to crush it on there. Oh my goodness. My Guinness. First, let's get the spring out of... How am I even going to do that? I don't want to ruin the spring. Help me out here, little guy. Alright, there we go. By all rights, I could probably just throw this little collar away. But it's there to help take up slack. So, anybody out there ever have tubes in your ears? That's pretty much what it looks like. Alright, you're on super zoom mode. I know it always sounds weird, but I'd like you to get a... Oops, sorry, I just head bunted you. I'd like you to get as good a view as possible of me dropping this and losing it forever. Stay. Stay. Titan thinks I'm telling him to stay. Come on, buddy, get in. No. There we go. Why am I whispering? Get back to your home. With your Dang it. Why am I still recording this? Everyone's moved on by now. Oh, there it is. 10 minutes later. Ooh, welcome back, folks. It's a new and grantabulous day in the world of disastrous garages. We're going to go ahead and hyperlapse this thing back together and go. Yeah, so I have no idea what's going on right now. Not in the least. You saw how much fuel it was spitting out into the carburetor, and that was at one turn out on the main jet. And then I shut it completely, and it still ran. Well, now what do I do? Order a new one? Why would it do this in the first place? Did my float adjustment make things worse? Well, here we are again. So I've been looking at this. That's a pretty good size hole, and I'm feeling like that shouldn't be the case. Or maybe, and like I said, bear with my insanity here. When this is all together, I'm curious if this is not threading down far enough to where it actually will adjust the mixture. I guess we can do this. We have to account for a washer and the thickness of this case. So with this screwed all the way in, this should bottom out, which it just did. Okay, so that's not the issue. There is almost a type of sight window right there, or a hole we can use as a sight window to see if we're actually bottoming out. Unfortunately, I have to run. I will see you soon. All right, I'm back. I'm wondering too if maybe, yeah, it looks like it might be too high now. That might be part of our problem as well. So let's thread this in until it stops, which is right about there. Let's get this little guy, thread him in. It looks like it stops right when the two surfaces meet. I mean, ideally, that should be enough to choke it off. Where the heck else would fuel be coming in? Well, let's adjust the float back a little bit. So let's back this little guy out and straighten him up a bit. So now we're slightly shallow. So that should lower the fuel level, which I don't think is the problem anyway. I don't think it is at all. Let's do another experiment. If I take this little guy and I put it here, there's a lot of slop between that needle and that hole. Do you think it's just worn out? Like, actually worn out? Is that even a thing? Because how can I get the mixture right? I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Guess we can just hope for the best that it's the float level. No, that wouldn't matter. The float level doesn't matter. It's not like, unless there's some other way it can get in, but I don't. Camera's sideways. I'll have to fix that later. Whoops. So I did just find something that could potentially cause an issue if the fuel level's too high, but it would have to be really high. You see this right here. This is a passage that goes right down there. See at the tip of my pinky, that little hole down there? There. Right there, that little hole. I wonder if that's what was shooting fuel up into here. And did you notice it was cyclic? So it would flood, and then it'd clear itself out. And then it'd flood, and then it'd clear itself out. Like perhaps the fuel level is coming way up. That's getting pulled into here, or forced into here from the fuel tank, and then it clears itself out when it drops, and then it does the same thing over and over again. So maybe that was part of our problem, is that I'm not smart, and I adjusted this so that it was allowing too much fuel to come in. So let's do the opposite and overly compensate, and we'll see if that makes a difference. I should probably put things back together in the correct order. Another slight issue that I found is that our needle is allowing some blow-by, which is a phrase I just used inappropriately. Anyway, our needle is deformed, as you can see. It's permanently dented. So I'm going to see if I can undent it. I went through the small engine toolkit, and I could not find a replacement needle that is the correct size. Very disappointing. Maybe there's a little water displacement, 40th edition, and we'll just remove that black coating. Kidding. I don't think WD-40 will take the black coating off. And if it does, you know what? Maybe it'll start sealing. I'm going to massage this little teat for a while. Hopefully we can get that dent out of it. Well, I polished it and rubbed it and tickled it, and it is sealing. Reassembly yet again, and back onto the machine yet again. Round, I don't know, 3? Whoop. Choke. Maybe it's because my butt's not in the seat all the way. Ah, that was in gear. You guys seeing that chug back into the intake? I think our intake valve is lashless. Alright, so I'm thinking we need to do a leak down check on this. Because I did a little research, and there was information out there that said spitting and sputtering can also be the result of improperly set valve clearances. Therefore, since we keep spitting back into the intake, I'm curious if we have a valve clearance issue or a valve lash issue. Valve lash issue. I'll get it eventually. But on the other end of things, I actually opened the main jet, and that helped smooth it out. And I wasn't seeing the ridiculous amount of spitting back out the intake that we were of fuel before, but there is still considerable pooling in there. I'm curious if what's happening is we're getting the suction pulse, right? Piston goes down, sucks the air in, pulls some fuel with it, right? We get some of the charge that stays in the cylinder, but then on the way up, the piston pushes some of that charge back. We get the opposite effect. You know what? Whatever. Let's just go check. Let's go check cylinder leak down at top dead center compression. One silly thing I haven't done yet, which would make sense, is to check the spark plug. A little bit of simple maintenance. Maybe that'll help this situation. So we'll change multiple things at the same time, rather than just one. And then we'll never know what actually fixes the issue. Spark plug wire pliers. What a great invention. It's hot. If I had to guess, it's going to be very carbony due to the mass amount of oil we burned at the beginning. Autolite? Nice. Autolite 258. That is hot. And my predictions were fairly true. Carbony. Rich in oil at the beginning and rich in fuel. A little rough. I think a little scrub and spit polish might help that out a bit. And might as well check compression. Oh, might as well check compression first. As per usual, large numbers are PSI, small numbers are KPA times 100 for our metric friends. And go. Well, it's good. It's actually, it's really good. Pretty sure our compression is considerably better than that, but since we're not fast enough, our compression release is still engaged. That's why and therefore, we're stopping at 90 PSI. Okay, the valve is out of the end of this. I have this set to 10 PSI. It's sealing up really well. Theoretically, an engine will stop spinning on the compression stroke. So hopefully, while we were cranking, we already made it near compression top dead center. And we won't have to do a whole lot of anything. Nope, not at all. It's all exhaust. Intake. Now it should close. Compression. Oh, it's shut completely. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the intake valve. Interesting. But it does leak all the way up toward top dead center. That should be TDC right there. We are sealed perfectly right now. And if I go just past top dead center, it should spin it out of my hand. Yep. But why is it still coming out the intake? Oh, stop. I can't get it. I feel like I have to do some research and understand what's happening. It's like it seals at TDC, but only directly at TDC. On the compression stroke, this should be shut the entire time. Compression release should spit out through here. Am I wrong? And just a side note, this is a tight engine. There's no leakage anywhere. None from the crankcase, none from the intake, and none from the exhaust. How impressive is that? So I was looking for valve lash adjustment information in the manual here, but no, there's not. Although I did find this. Engine occasionally skips at high speed. Spark plug fouled, faulty, or gap too wide. Incorrect carburetor adjustment. Ugh. Check spark plug condition and gap. Consult authorized dealer. Readjust carburetor. Well, I went to the carburetor readjustment information, and it says it requires a lot of knowledge and skill. So let's clean the spark plug just for kicks and set the gap to. We are model 2115. I think it's 30 thou. Yep, 30 thousandths. All right. Story time. Did I ever tell you guys about my cam bearing wind chime? Yes, those are all cam bearings. All right, story time. So there I am, young, not very full of wisdom, and I'm working with my partner on our service floor class where people would bring in their vehicles for a bunch of dumb teenagers and early 20-year-olds to work on their cars without having to pay for labor. The risk with that is you get a bunch of hungover morons in there that think they know what they're doing, but have no idea what they're doing. It was a fun class. We did some misfire diagnosis. I found the hard way that the coil needed to be replaced on this Dodge Dakota by touching the coil while it was running, and it arced to me instead of where it was supposed to arc to. A couple other issues. We had a neon where the radiator failed with the transmission cooler, and we flushed the transmission like 10 times. Actually, it really was probably 5 transmission flushes before the fluid started coming out looking normal. There we are. The customer comes in, says he has a ticking noise, and it happens to be a teacher at the school I went to. Our instructor for service floor says, you know what, I'd recommend you just turn the radio up and deal with it. So anyway, he's like, nope, I want to give these guys a chance. By the way, Buick Century 3100 V6, so push rod V6. We pull out the lifters and the cam is chewed up, and so it needs a camshaft and it needs lifters. We order the cam, we order our first set of bearings. We pull out the old bearings, put the new bearings in, and we go to put the cam in, and the cam hits a hard spot and stops. And we're thinking to ourselves, well, what the heck is going on? Well, we pull it back out, and that set of bearings is wrecked. The bearing was done for already, so we had to order a second set of cam bearings. We go to put it in. I can't remember if he took a turn to do it or not, but something happened, and that was the second set of cam bearings that went the way of the dodo. So finally, we're like, okay, something's going on. This isn't right. We should be able to get the cam, install it, and continue about our business. Well, we finally did a real good inspection of the cam and found that it was dropped. So the very end rotating surface had bent, and every time we'd get it past like the first or second bearing, it would stick into the next bearing because it wasn't perfectly straight. Whoops! I kept all those bearings and I turned it into a wind chime. It has a lovely noise. It really does sound kind of good. So that is my cam bearing story. Does that look off-center to you? Like the electrode is down there? I got a collection of old plugs. See how that electrode is centered? Even the no-name plugs, the electrode is centered in the bore. That one's pushed down that way. I wonder if this plug is defective. No, it's in there solid, but it's offset. And that won't bend because it's not supposed to bend. I was hoping that it would magically turn out to be something like this. I couldn't believe when that happened. Never seen anything like that before. Pretty wild. Okay, so we cleaned it. Let's gap it. We'll use an actual feeler gauge. 30 thou, or 0.762 millimeters for our metric friends and the rest of the entire world. Thank you, mechanic. Cracked me up when you say that, because it's true. US is the only place that does standard units. Well, they call it standard units, but they're not really standard, are they, compared to the rest of the world? This gap is too short. Too short? How about too tight? I think we're good. Barely any resistance. Okay. Well, what do you say? Should we try it? You know what? You know what? We're going to do a spark check. We're going to drag this out as much as possible. I want to see where this is arcing to. Because if I had to guess, it's not arcing to the end. It's probably just slapping around in the middle of the ground strap. Well, we have all the spark, and it's good and hot. Let's rotate it a little bit and see where it's bouncing in the electrode there. Welcome back, folks. It's a new and wonderful day. We checked spark. Spark looks pretty good. It's dancing around in the middle of the ground strap. I'd prefer it to be on the end. That's just my personal preference. I've been doing some research. Our engine number is 253707. And look at that. Look at that little guy. It even has the bulbous muffler on it. Da, 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 da. Service information. Intake valve clearance. There's your intake valve clearance. There's your exhaust valve clearance. I'm going to screenshot that so I can actually remember it. And I was looking on some Briggs & Stratton technician websites, and they say to set it directly at top dead center and see what your clearances are. If I was a betting man, which I'm definitely not, I'm guessing this guy might be a little bit on the tight side. So anyway, let's continue about our day, shall we? Well, here we are, back on the workbench of peril. I'm going to align the ground strap tip more that way. Should just count my blessings, the thing's sparking at all. Well, there we go. That's more lined up. I like that. Except now the gap is giant. There we go. Alright, now our ground strap and our electrode are a little more aligned. So hopefully that spark will stay more toward the end. Got a sweet, like, 90-degree bend out of that. All right. Anyway, let's go reinstall it and fire up just because we can. What a beautiful day. All right. Take 463. So I left the fuel on, and I'm pretty sure it all drained into the exhaust. So that's good. Which means our needle and seat still ain't doing needle and seat things. However, the popping, before I jinx it, seems to be better. We also don't have any backflow of fuel into the intake. Nice and dry. Before, it was just splashing in there like crazy. Well, that's encouraging. I'm still seeing on occasion, is the bowl wet? Oh man. Yes. It just needs a rebuild kit. We need a needle, we need a seal. Well, what do you say we check the lighting circuit? First of all, I wonder if the engine has to be running. I'm guessing yes. Well, maybe just key on. No? Alright, let's fire it up, see if we get anything. Well, that was easy. Okay, headlights. Check. So I'm looking at all of the oil that's everywhere, and I'm pretty darn certain that this case is leaking where it's bolted together. Soaked right here. If I had to guess, yeah, it's all just coming right out of the gasket. And like I said, this guy's leaking. Yeah, it's just kind of piling up here, isn't it? Welcome back, folks. It's a new day. It's been a few days, actually. I did some research. Turns out Briggs & Stratton is weird and decided to do the compression release out the intake, which makes zero sense to me whatsoever. Anyway, long story short, I'm not going to mess with the valves, but this thing is hemorrhaging oil. So, found this 25370702222-01. So, I went to Jack's Small Engines, one of my favorite places, 2537070222201. And I found the crankcase, and I found the gasket we need, number 12 here. I was hoping, by putting in the exact numbers, it would show me which thickness I need. I do not know which thickness we need. I would have to guess that goes into setting your thrust, perhaps. A little too thick, not enough thrust. A little too thin, too much thrust. So we're just going to go right in the middle and go with that. So I did some parts shopping reluctantly, and I bought a new dipstick gasket, and I picked up a new grommet for the fuel tank because, well, what do you know? That didn't last. Hopefully the grommet works. I bought a crankcase gasket. I bought a carburetor, and the grommet for the fuel tank comes with a new filter and some fuel line. So I definitely didn't plan on putting any money into this since I don't have a lot of spare cash laying around. But I figure I'm ordering $70-ish in parts. If I sell the mower with the dump cart, mower bagging system, mower cover, all together, I could probably list it for maybe $300, $350. But you gotta throw in some fun wordage, right? Are you prepared for the end of season fall leaf cleanup? If you're not, look no further. Silly stuff like that. Catch people's attention. Anyway, this project's taken way longer than I thought it would. because I was not expecting to have to be splitting engines apart or anything like that. You know, I guess I could sell it as is, but that's not as much fun. Is this fun, though? Yeah, it's fun. You know it is. It's fun. Side story. Not sure if you noticed this. My wife went out to lunch the other day with some coworkers. Got back to the parking lot and they said, "Hey, what you got there?" And this was just dangling off the end of the muffler. It's actually a pretty big pipe. I said, "Well, I guess I'll have to see if I can put that back together for you." And she goes, "You know, I kind of like the rumble that it has now." I really don't think it would have made that much difference, but that's pretty cute. Look at, well, ignore the spider, but look at all that carbon buildup. So that's the funny thing about direct injected engines, gasoline applications, right? They are more efficient in a way, but they also have a lot more particulate matter. Hence, the next generation of gasoline particulate filters. Yay. All right, well, let's see. Let's get this wheel off of here. Probably put this down for now. Okay, no thanks. Anybody else actually keep their jack in a case? Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what you are. Can I lift off of you? Oh, what a strangely oily mess. I wondered why this thing was so rust-free. What a beautiful day. Nice breeze, about 78. Just lovely. All right, let's get this cotter pin out of here. We gotta be careful because you and I both know we're gonna reuse this. Not like it retains the wheel or anything. Also, surprisingly tight steering. All right, there we go. Pin be out. Yeah, not a thing we can do about that. We can fill it with grease and hope the grease takes up the space. It's just, you know, it's been driven. That's pretty much all we can say about it. If I had loads of extra money and really wanted to repair it, we could pop this snap clip off here, or circlip, whatever you want to call it, and replace this entire axle. But it's not like the wheel's falling off. Does anyone else have this problem with storing grease? It's like all the good stuff just runs out of the grease. It's extremely frustrating, and then I don't have a good way to store it unless you take the tube out every single time. How irritating is that? Let me put a grease tube in here for 30 seconds of use, and then I gotta pull it back out and make a giant mess. Oh, what a mess. It's everywhere. Might as well do some pre-lubing. Yummy. How angry would the world be if I turned this around so that the air fitting is on the outside and the grease fitting? We wouldn't do that. That's a big no-no. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, that noise we're hearing, it's not even the up and down movement. That thumping noise we're hearing was the wheel banging off of the washer on the back. It's probably missing a washer that's supposed to go here. That or this surface is so worn down it just needs a washer. Let's go find one. You know what? Both sides do it. I don't have any washers that big. We're just going to put it right back together and pump it full of grease. Hey, look at that. Coming out the back and coming out the front. Definitely took up some radial play. Nice. Should give us another 20 years. And let's just pump grease on the other side. We'll call it a day. Because believe it or not, the other side is significantly worse. Keep forgetting my wife bought me this thing. Pretty nice for the knees. And look at this one. This one does have a lot of play going on to it. But like I said, I'm not going to invest in new axles. Grease coming out the back. And Grease coming out the front. All right, while we're here, steering. Oh, let's get that old stuff out of there. There we go. Probably makes it easier to get new grease in here with this thing elevated off the ground. Except this one's just pumping it out the bottom. Let's set it down. Maybe it'll take the grease differently. Indeed. Oh man. How cool was that? Tell you what, there's something you don't see like ever anymore. Greasable spindles. It's probably all coming out the bottom. It's probably all gonna spray all over the inside of the mower deck. I'm gonna go knock out the other side. All right. Well, I think that's about all I could find for greasing points. Both spindles, both wheels, both axles at their pivots. So I think I found our belt vibration issue, and it's pretty much common sense. You know, you get flat spots on tires, right? Well, when a belt sits for a long time, it's going to hold its shape, depending on where it was. Maybe it was resting on the corner of a pulley like this. See this little curve here? So I would imagine with some time, it'll do one of two things. It'll fix itself by getting heat cycled and get rid of those curves and weeble wobbles and moguls, or it'll snap and then you can replace it altogether. Also, did you notice? Listen. Silence, which is an excellent thing. And we're back for a new and exciting day. Looky what came in the mail. Hydrocarbon Distribution Center. This is my Chinese replacement. The ROP Shop. Rugged Outdoor Products, ROP. That's cute. Okay, buddy. Good to see you. I went with this $30 some odd option because an OEM one I found for like $268. So, no thank you. Let's see what we have in this beautiful, oh wow. Okay, gasket, and that's it. Okay, let's take a look. Ooh, look at that nice bowl. Here's our replacement for this guy. This one's plasticky, this one's rubbery. That's nice. Throttle shaft. Just as loose as the other one, if not worse. Really? I mean, I guess it's not the worst, but could be definitely better than that. Choke has this interesting little pad in here. Looks like we're gonna have to hijack the fuel inlet off the other one. Holy cow, what was that? The other one. Holy cow. Got a flying giant mosquito. I don't know what you call that, but it's got a sharp butt, and I don't really want it in the garage. And it's gone. Oh, you know what? They put the little foamy pad in there too. That must help it not leak with the poor fitment. What are we at here? 1/2. 1. Ow, that's tight. Oh, there's pieces of material falling off this threaded screw. Yeah, that looks like very cheap material. I mean, the little jetlet right there looks okay, but this feels like, I don't know, it's still shredding. It's still shedding pieces. It's almost like plastic. You know what? I bet this is plastic. Guess that's one way they save some money. Make a plastic part and then coat it with some type of fuel-resistant metallic-ish finish. Ish. Don't want to thread this in too hard. You might just strip it out. 1/2. And 1. Let's check out this guy. This one looks actual authentic brass. Oh, I didn't check the setting. It was right there. We'll call it right there. I'm guessing it's also 1 out. 1/2. And 1. And 1 1/2. And 2. And 2 1/2. Yeah, I definitely didn't unthread it that much, but that's okay. We'll pretend 2.5 is the right setting. Watch it pour smoke out the tailpipe. Oh, that's interesting. Rubber seal. Our current one does not utilize a rubber seal. I'm not going to take the bowl off, because with my luck, it won't seal, and then I won't know if it didn't seal from the factory, which may very well be the case. 1/2. 1.5, 2. We'll do 2 and see what happens. There's our PCV line. Our drill through hole wasn't fully drilled through. Interesting. I mean, you know, what do you expect, right? This cost $35. An OEM one, like I said, was over 250 bucks. Honestly, this does not need to be all the way through anyway. Maybe it'll keep excess oil from coming into the engine. Yeah, that's a large chunk right there that wasn't fully drilled out. Oh well. Next question. People were saying that this hole is too large. Nope, I guess we got the right one. Did we get the right one? I mean, my homemade screw doesn't want to go in. How surprising is that? I don't think there's a thread at the top. Well, plus my homemade screw still has a little tongue on it. Let's go take care of that. All better-ish. Yeah, that's definitely not willingly going in there. I think we're going to have to run a tap into that. Does that line up? No. Does that line up? Yes. Yep. Getting a little some extra chunks out of there. This is not a very expensive kit. I think this is roached out too. Yeah, look at that. Now it fits. Okay, so machining hasn't exactly been the best, but I mean, nothing we haven't been able to fix. Hopefully I didn't jinx that. Okay, again, really high quality. Oh, it's cracked. Look at that. Nice. Jeez. Okay, good. So that's all set. Let's check our long screw. We'll start from the bottom. Yep, okay, that's a good thing. What do you say? We throw it on there? Let's lapse this baby into its new home. Just wanted to show you this really quick. So I was looking at these throttle shafts, and I noticed that this one, the new one, had multiple holes. This one only has one, and it's a short distance from the shaft. So I think we're going to go with that rubber collar right there. I think that makes the most sense. But yeah, just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, back to it. Alrighty, let's turn on the fuel, see if it starts pouring out from all over the place. So I ordered a new one of these valves down here with the grommet, and I didn't look at the shipping date. So it might be a while. There may be a part 3 to this beautiful disaster. Alright, fuel is flowing into the filter and disappearing. I'm guessing we're filling up the bowl. Hopefully it will reach a point where it looks like it has stopped flowing. Okay, that's a good sign. Just turn the key, see what happens. Plenty of oil. Cross your fingers and go. I don't hear any spitting, sputtering, and popping. Well, I'm not convinced yet. Let's turn up the idle a bit. Richen this up a bit. That dumb little spring. Mini spring is hooked up again. Oh man. Still have a little bit of a stutter. Still smells a little bit on the expensive side, but it's running way better than it was. Still a little sputter at idle. I don't know. Maybe it's the nature of an old beast. I haven't verified the valve train yet. I wasn't planning on it, but since I'm going to pull the engine to reseal it for absolutely no reason, I'll probably check it then. Okay, I'd say that was worth $35. And we're back for another day. Gasket came in, as you can see through the little silhouette of the paper here. Very exciting. Here's the BS number, 270916, 9,000ths thickness gasket. So, what do you say we pluck that engine off of there, huh? Just kidding. Sorry, but we're at about the hour mark, and this video is getting... Yeah, I don't know what that noise was either. Take two. Yep, nothing happened. Didn't see that. Anyway. Do I know you? I'm not getting a delivery of dirt today. It's porta potty delivery day for somebody other than me, because I'm not getting a toilet other than the one that's in my house. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for tuning in. This video is getting long. And to pull the mower deck, to pull the engine, to reseal the engine, and to do all of that other garbage is probably going to take me another hour of recording, because I'm not fast at all. So if you want to come back, watch me struggle, separating the case, putting a new gasket in, and seeing if it doesn't explode when it's reassembled and engine's fired up, feel free. Come on back, I'll be here. We'll be ready for a new adventure. Thanks for watching. Did all the gas drain out again? No. Ha-ha! The needle and seat are doing needle and seat things. This is great. Titan. Titan, come here and say hi. No, Hercules, it's not your turn. Oh, itchies. Itchies. Stop worrying about the blade of grass that you're fighting over. Occasionally he likes itchies, but other than that, he would just rather be throwing stuff around. Isn't that right, old man? Yeah? Can I see this piece of grass that you're trying to get me to throw? No, you're gonna eat it. Okay, that's even better. It's been an adventure, learning new things all the time, and having some fun while doing it. I could just sell it while it hemorrhages oil, but why not take the time to pull it apart, learn a little bit more, and yeah, kind of do our best to make it right. Right? Right. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next time, right here on the Tractor Fella channel. I'm getting better at that, huh? All right, well, I already fell off my chair, so I think that's enough funny stuff for the outro. We'll see you later. Nope, not doing it again. Okay, bye.